Hey friends, how's it going? The movie begins with a shocking scene. A woman stands on a swing, covered in blood, her face streaked with tears. She looks completely broken. As the swing moves back and forth, she cries without stopping. Moments later, she climbs higher, wraps a metal chain around her neck, and hangs herself. Her body goes limp, and something slips from her hand to the ground. A strange device. The screen goes black, leaving a haunting question. Why did she do it? The story then shifts to Ella, a 37-year-old woman who has never had children and never wanted to. The thought of pregnancy terrifies her, and she has never felt any maternal desire. At a party with her friends, everyone else talks excitedly about their children, sharing pictures and stories. Ella tries to stay away, but her friends call her over, and she reluctantly joins. One of her pregnant friends invites her to feel the baby move. Ella refuses, feeling deeply uncomfortable. Her friends continue to pressure her, asking when she will have kids and insisting that family is the most important thing in life. Ella is an independent woman, successful in her career as an interior designer. She loves her work, her home, and her freedom. Her husband, Aiden, is a caring doctor who loves her and respects her choices. During a routine checkup, Dr. Weber, a doctor recommended by Aiden, asks about her plans for children. Ella explains that she stopped taking birth control years ago after a health scare, but they now use protection. The doctor says everything is normal and that she could still have a baby if she wanted to. But Ella does not want children and has never felt the urge to become a mother. The doctor suggests that her biological clock might not be working in the usual way, which explains why she feels no desire to have children. Later, Ella visits a store for some new furniture. She selects fabrics, takes photos for her portfolio, and enjoys the work she loves. But when she scrolls through social media, she sees friends posting about birthdays, milestones, and family moments. For the first time, she wonders if something is missing from her life. That night, her father joins her for dinner and reminds her that it may be time to start a family, just like her sister. Ella feels frustrated and walks away, unable to agree. Everywhere she looks, people seem obsessed with motherhood, but Ella isn't sure she was ever meant to follow that path. That night, Ella and Aiden share an intimate moment. But when Aiden reaches for protection, Ella stops him, insisting that he not use it. He freezes, confused and unsure. He senses her inner conflict and wonders if this is just pressure from society, knowing deep down that Ella has never wanted children. He reassures her gently, telling her that it's okay to not want motherhood, that being with her is enough, with or without kids. Ella feels a mix of frustration and exhaustion. She is nearly 38, and everywhere she turns, people seem to push her toward having a child. But Aiden reminds her that this moment was inevitable, and that there's no simple solution to her feelings. Hurt by his words, Ella quietly slips out of bed and goes downstairs, trying to distract herself with work. As she sits, her mind drifts to something Dr. Weber had mentioned, a special facility that claims to help women fix their biological clocks. The next morning, Ella calls her office, saying she won't be coming in. She tells Aiden she is leaving for a few days on an important work project, but instead, she heads straight to the mysterious facility. When she arrives, the place is eerily calm, modern and pristine, yet strangely isolated. In the waiting area, she notices a woman staring blankly out into the woods. Her expression is vacant, almost lifeless, sending a chill down Ella's spine. Something about her seems broken. A nurse soon appears and escorts Ella to her room. She checks Ella's vitals and explains that Dr. Simmons will handle her case personally. Moments later, Dr. Simmons enters the room. She is calm and confident. She tells Ella that she has helped many women like her, women who arrived uncertain and afraid and left with children, feeling happy and complete. Ella listens as Dr. Simmons explains that the fear and resistance are psychological. She says that while Ella is at the facility, they will run tests, help her work through her feelings, and eventually prepare her to become a mother. The doctor gives Ella 2 small pills and tells her to take them. After doing so, Ella goes to the dining area, where several other women are already seated. They are around her age and unusually quiet. That night, Ella receives a message from Aiden asking where she is. She tells him her phone signal is weak and that she is busy in meetings. He accepts it, but Ella starts to notice that the facility feels different from what she expected. The next day, Ella begins her first official session with Dr. Simmons. The doctor explains that Ella is experiencing a condition called topophobia, where some women associate pregnancy with fear or discomfort. She says that once the mind is ready, the body will follow. Dr. Simmons gives Ella a set of ink blot cards and asks her to describe what she sees. On the first card, Ella sees a faceless woman. On the second, she sees a spider in its web with small spiders crawling around. On the third card, she sees her grandfather's old clock, the same one still in her childhood home. Ella looks at Dr. Simmons, hoping for an explanation. The doctor only smiles and says that they will talk about it tomorrow. Later, Dr. Simmons gives Ella another dose of medicine, and she takes it without question. That night, while she sleeps, Ella suddenly wakes up, sensing something moving on her bed. Her eyes widen as she notices a spider crawling near her pillow. She tries to squash it with her slipper, but before she can, the spider disappears without a trace. The next morning, during her therapy session, Dr. Simmons brings up the drawing test again and asks about the clock. Ella explains that it reminded her of her grandfather's old antique clock at home, a piece her grandparents had brought back during the war. She says she always called it her grandfather's coffin because the ticking was loud, constant, and unsettling. Dr. Simmons listens and explains that the clock represents death and Ella's connection to it. It is tied to her ancestors, a generation that suffered deeply, treated as if they were insignificant, crushed, and forgotten. That pain, the doctor says, still exists in her subconscious. Ella sits quietly, processing the words. Dr. Simmons then asks about the faceless woman from her vision. Ella admits she has no idea who the woman is. The three images, the faceless woman, the spider family, and the clock, are all pieces of Ella's subconscious. Two of them she can understand, but the woman remains a mystery. That night, back in her room, Ella grows restless. The ticking of the clock echoes in her mind. She gets up, opens it, removes the battery, and sets it on the floor. But even without power, the ticking doesn't stop. Instead, it grows louder, sharper, almost like it's angry. Frightened, Ella leaves the room and walks down the corridor. There, she notices another woman standing there, smoking a cigarette. The woman smiles faintly and invites Ella to join her. She mentions that she arrived only last night and that her implantation procedure is scheduled for the next morning. As they talk, Ella notices something odd. The woman is barefoot on the cold floor. Leaning closer, she whispers a warning. The facility is not what it seems, and the test, Ella won't pass it. Then, without another word, she walks away into the dark hallway. Confused and shaken, Ella glances toward the building and freezes. Through one of the windows, she sees the same faceless woman from her vision staring straight at her. Panicking, Ella hurries back to her room. Just then, her phone rings. It's Aiden, calling to check on her. Ella takes a deep breath and lies once again, saying that she is fine and will be home soon. The next day, Dr. Simmons leads Ella to a strange chamber she calls the D-Tank. It is a large, water-filled pod, almost like a sensory deprivation tank. The doctor explains calmly that Ella will need to step inside and lock herself in, and that it will help her mind reconnect with her body. Nervously, Ella agrees. She steps into the tank, and as the lid closes, she slowly sinks beneath the water. For a moment, everything feels quiet and still, but then terrifying images begin to flash before her eyes. Visions of childbirth, screaming, and blood. Panicked, Ella thrashes and forces herself out of the tank. Gasping for air, she stumbles, only to see the faceless woman standing nearby, silently watching her. Ella screams and tries to run, but slips and hits her head on the floor. Everything goes black. When she wakes, she is back in her room at the facility, with Dr. Simmons sitting calmly beside her. The doctor asks gently what she saw in the tank. Ella, still shaken, says she saw something terrifying, something that felt real. Dr. Simmons insists that there was nothing there, that it was all in Ella's mind. To prove it, she shows her the security footage from the chamber. On the screen, only Ella and the nurse appear, no faceless woman. But Ella does not believe it. She insists she saw someone. Fear rising, she tells the doctor she wants to leave. Dr. Simmons shakes her head. Ella cannot leave yet. She signed a contract and she must complete the implantation process. Before Ella can protest, the nurses restrain her and begin the procedure. Dr. Simmons injects something into her lower abdomen, a hormonal implant meant to trigger maternal instincts and prepare her body for pregnancy. Afterward, the doctor gives her a few weeks, supply of pills, and instructs her to return for a checkup soon. Dizzy and terrified, Ella finally leaves the facility. But as she drives, she suddenly slams on the brakes. A woman, the same faceless figure, appears in front of her car, only to vanish instantly. Shaking, Ella looks around. For a brief moment, the woman's reflection flashes in her window. Panicked, Ella floors the accelerator and drives into the mountains, where she pulls over and vomits. Her body feels weak, her mind unsettled. When she finally reaches home, Aiden is relieved to see her. He hugs her tightly, unaware of the nightmare she has just endured. That night, he tries to be intimate with her again, but something inside Ella feels wrong. She stops him and instead walks to the fridge, pulling out an egg, the same strange sample from the facility. Almost in a trance, she presses it against her skin. The following night is Ella's birthday. Her friends gather to celebrate, including Shauna, who is now heavily pregnant. For the first time in days, Ella smiles and asks if she can touch Shauna's belly. Shauna happily agrees, but as soon as Ella places her hand on it, her smile fades. In her mind, she sees a spider crawling across Shauna's skin. Horrified, Ella freezes and grabs a book from the table, ready to strike Shauna's belly. But just in time, Aiden rushes in and stops her. Everyone goes silent. Shauna, terrified, steps back, clutching her stomach, realizing how close she came to being hurt, or worse, her unborn child. Aiden quickly reassures everyone that Ella is okay and just exhausted. Still shaken, Shauna and the others leave the house immediately. The next day, Ella visits a paint store, but something strange happens. She suddenly can't distinguish the colors. Everything looks the same, as if she's become colorblind. At that moment, her doctor calls to check in, asking about side effects from the medication. Ella lies, saying that everything is fine. After buying the paint, she goes to a friend's house to work on a project. But soon, the disturbing images start flashing in her mind again. She can't focus and eventually collapses to the floor, spilling the pills she had been carrying. That night, Ella goes with Aiden to visit her father. While there, she notices her grandfather's old clock. Seeing it fills her with unease. Her father shows her an old photo album full of pictures of her grandparents. But when Ella looks at her grandmother's photo, she freezes. The woman in the picture is the same mysterious figure she's been seeing in her visions all along. Terrified, Ella tells her father that the woman is evil. Shocked and angry, he rips the photos apart. Realizing she may have overreacted, Ella apologizes and quietly leaves. Later that night, back at home, Ella realizes she left her pills at her friend's place. Panicked, she rushes there in the middle of the night and takes them immediately. But then she notices something disturbing. Shauna is standing nearby, staring at the drawings Ella had made on the wall. Shauna looks horrified, but before she can react, her water breaks. In a twisted moment, Ella picks up the fluid from the floor and smears it on her face, whispering that she wants Shauna's baby for herself. Her other two friends rush in and manage to restrain her, finally throwing her out of the house. Completely shaken and desperate, Ella receives a call from her father. He has fallen and needs her help. She rushes to him without hesitation. When she arrives, she helps him up. But her attention is drawn once again to the old clock. It's ticking loud and echoing through the room. The sound overwhelms her. In a fit of desperation, she grabs the clock and smashes it apart, tearing out its inner parts until the ticking finally stops. After the incident, Ella returns home, completely shaken. Aiden notices her state and tries to calm her, asking what really happened. Ella tells him about destroying her father's clock and how it upset him. She also reveals that she cut her hand on the broken glass. Aiden helps her wash it, offering comfort. In that moment, something changes in Ella. A sudden, overwhelming desire to have a baby takes over. She asks Aiden to help her conceive. At first, he refuses, saying they can't have a child just to please her father or anyone else. But as Ella keeps insisting, he finally agrees. They become intimate, but as soon as he touches her, something horrifying occurs. He is injured, and it becomes clear that something sharp inside her caused the harm. In shock and pain, he asks her to grab bandages from his bag. When she does, she notices the facility's logo printed on it. Everything clicks. Aiden has been working with the facility all along. He knew about the experiments, was part of the plan, and even sent her to see Dr. Weber. Yet, he claims he only wanted to help her and never meant to pressure her. Furious and feeling betrayed, Ella rushes back to the facility to confront Dr. Simmons. She accuses the doctor of running a cruel and inhuman experiment, demanding that the implant be removed. Dr. Simmons explains that the implant cannot be taken out without causing permanent damage. Ella insists she doesn't care. Dr. Simmons observes Ella and notes that her program has worked. She now wants a baby more than anything. Ella breaks down in tears, admitting that it's true. Dr. Simmons tells her it's good news, but asks why she is crying. Ella explains her fear that she might get divorced and wonders how she could have a baby. Dr. Simmons reassures her that she doesn't need a husband. All she needs is sperm, and they can make her pregnant quickly. Dr. Simmons asks Ella to go to her office to get cleaned up. As she walks away, Ella notices a woman feeding a baby affectionately, but there is no baby in her arms. Suddenly, she realizes it isn't real. She confronts Dr. Simmons, asking about the side effects. The visions, the spiders, the clocks, the faceless woman, even her sudden desire for a child. Dr. Simmons calmly assures her that what she is experiencing is natural, part of the process, and exactly how it was meant to be. Ella breaks down, denying the doctor's claims. She insists that her feelings were natural before, that not wanting a child was who she truly was. She demands that the implant be removed, but the doctor refuses. In frustration, Ella grabs a pair of scissors, ready to take it out herself. Suddenly, she begins to hallucinate again. The tall, faceless woman appears, stopping her. But this time, Ella doesn't run. She fights back. She grabs a tray from the table and strikes Dr. Simmons. In a desperate act, she reaches inside her own body and pulls out a strange mechanical device shaped like a clock. It's the same device she had seen earlier in the woman's hand, the one who had taken her own life. As soon as the device is removed, everything comes into focus. The hallucinations, the visions, the spiders, the clocks. It was all caused by the pills and the implant. Her mind begins to clear, but the relief is short-lived. The police arrive, sent to arrest her. Panicking, Ella jumps into her car and speeds away. As she drives, her phone rings. It's Aiden. His voice is cold. He tells her he called the police and that he knows what happened to her father. Then, the memories come flooding back. She recalls that night how her father had fallen, and she tried to help him. He had told her it was okay if she didn't want children. But when she saw the old ticking clock beside him, something inside her snapped. In a fit of madness, she smashed the clock. When her father tried to stop her, she turned on him, killing him. She even mutilated his body before leaving the house, as if nothing had happened. Remembering everything she had done, Ella panics. She knows she has killed her father. In a desperate move, she runs and leaps off a cliff. Sometime later, she opens her eyes to find herself on the edge of a vast, empty beach. The wind howls and the waves crash against the shore. A small, strange creature slowly approaches her, a haunting reminder of the life and chaos she has left behind. And just like that, the movie ends. So friends, that was the story of this film, intense, twisted, and full of psychological horror. Ella faced enormous societal pressure to have children, even though she never wanted them. While her husband supported her, the dark twists of the story show the extreme lengths taken to manipulate her into conformity. Through Dr. Weber and the mysterious facility, her mind was pushed to the edge with drugs that caused horrifying hallucinations. These manipulations led her to commit unthinkable acts, including the death of her father. Once she removed the implanted device, the visions finally stopped, giving her a brief moment of clarity. In the final scene, after Ella jumps from the cliff, it's left unclear whether she's dead, hallucinating, or has entered some new state of existence. Her story doesn't end. It lingers hauntingly. The strange creature crawling toward her isn't just a symbol of life, but a reminder that the cycle of fear, desire, and manipulation may never truly stop. That's it for today's video. How did you like it? Share your thoughts in the comments below.